Tonight at the K, we'll see two of the hottest young right-handers in the game. Yordano Ventura for Kansas City, Michael Wacha for St. Louis. The final game of the I-70 series is next. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Tonight from Kauffman Stadium, it's the final game of the I-70 series with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody. Steve PHYSIOC, Rex Hudler with you. The Major League Baseball draft is underway. The Royals have 4 of the first 56 selections, so they should be able to grab some pretty good talent. But back in 2005, they grabbed a guy in the first round out of the University of Nebraska named Alex Gordon, and that worked out pretty well.
Wouldn't they only hope to be so fortunate to get another Gordon? But that's what happens when the draft comes. Good luck to that front office trying to repeat that. Hopefully, they'll succeed.
And Alex been very hot. Look at the last couple of weeks. His on-base percentage over 46, Hud.
Yes, and for some players, Fizz, it takes 200 at-bats to figure it out. But Alex actually had it figured out. Just a little over anxious earlier in the season. Now he's being patient. He's being selective. He's looking for his pitch. Going to the opposite field helps a lot. It gets you in line to turn on this. That's right, the Gordo bomb. More the merrier, especially for that starting staff. It's locking him in. He's very quiet. That short swing has really been productive, and it's going to be exciting to see. Now, Gordon's approach has been perfect. There's multiple bus drivers on this Royals offensive team. Hopefully, he'll be contagious to the rest of them.
We'll have a terrific pitching matchup with two young, talented right-handers. Michael Wacha going for St. Louis, Yordano Ventura for Kansas City. Joe Goldberg will tell their story next.
Game against the Royals last season, May 30th. at Busch Stadium, perhaps most remembered for the long delays with the rain, a game that eventually ended long after he had come out at 3:14 in the morning. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out here by the fountains in right center field. Now, Michael Wacha last year was the National League Championship Series MVP at a very young age, but he has also developed a name, Rain Man, because it seems like every time he pitches, it rains. In 6 of his 12 starts this year, there have been weather delays. Another one was postponed, and another had the threat of rain. In those contests, 6 hours and 30 total minutes of delays this year, and the head groundskeeper for the St. Louis Cardinals today called up the head groundskeeper, Trevor Vance of the Royals, and said, you better be looking out for weather tonight. But I just talked to Trevor, and the report is good. A couple of storms on the Missouri-Iowa border that have broken up. We should be in good shape. First pitch coming up next.
Chevy dealer. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Buy the Missouri Lottery. Try the Missouri Lottery's Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Welcome back to the K for the Cardinals and Royals. KC leads the series 2 victories to 1, outscoring St. Louis 16-12, but they have not been able to cool off that guy. 7 hits in his last 7 at-bats, and he'll lead things off again with Wong, the rookie, going number 2, and Holliday, the veteran, 3.
Ooh, man. Now, if he continues to stay firecracker hot, and that's the hottest you can get, maybe with a base open and a runner in scoring position, you pass him. He's been really good, and hopefully Ventura can hold them down, because you know Wacha, if he's been Wacha, he's going to hold the Royals down a little bit. It could be another low-scoring affair, as Giordano is making his start after skipping one. Going to be a little bit powerful. He's going to have a lot of energy. He must harness that. Strike 1 will be his biggest pitch tonight.
Giordano Ventura, our Kia starting pitcher. He has not started in 10 days because of discomfort in his right elbow, and he had a sensational bullpen session in Toronto. Here is your Midwest Ford dealers defense.
Man, I'm going to tell you, Salvi wears the gold, but he also puts down the right fingers. That catcher's ERA, 3rd best. Rest of them out there, Lorenzo CAIN, he's going to catch everything. Gordon, if they dare to run on him, he'll nail him too. Fun to watch Salvi. big game. Final one. They could go 3 of 4 or split. Much better 3 out of 4 against the Redbirds.
Well, the Major League Baseball draft is going on right now. Here's a look at our umpires. Dale Scott, the crew chief, is behind home plate. And the first pitch to Carpenter in there, strike 1. Right now, the first 10 selections have gone through the Major League Baseball draft. The Royals choose 17th, and we'll bring you up to date on their pick as soon as it comes. Carpenter, though, Rex, a 13th round pick. I think 399.
Just never know. Ventura, free and easy. Love to watch the explosive fastball with little body movement.
Into left center field, and Gordon is there with a tremendous catch.
Matt Carpenter shaking his head, running off. Well, Matt, don't hit it out that way. Alex Gordon couldn't wait to get some Trevor turf on him. For the fans here at the K. Oh, and he kissed the turf. What a nice effort. And he gives the safe sign. Giordano says thank you very much. That's 3 strikes in a row.
Well, it's good to see Carpenter up the bases. He had been on 10 of his last 11 times, and the only time they didn't get him on, he had a sacrifice. So here is Colton Wong. And Ventura delivers strike 1. We told you that Ventura's last start Monday, May 26th, 10 days ago, a 9-2 loss to Houston. Only went 2 2/3 innings. Gave up 7 hits, 5 runs, and threw 78 pitches, removed in the 3rd inning because of discomfort in the right elbow. He skipped 1 start, and that would have been in Toronto. 2-2, Infante, 2 outs.
Ventura means business tonight. 6 pitches, 6 strikes.
Well, his last bullpen session in Toronto, Bruce Chen told reporters he watched Ventura's session and he had bad news for them. He said Ace looked awesome, and that was bad news for the Cardinals.
It could be. Let's just see how this long game could unfold, because you never know. Every game has been an exciting one in this one.
And Holliday with a mighty rip on the first pitch he sees at 96 miles an hour, strike 1. Holliday 2 for 11 in this series.
Can't believe he threw a ball.
Well, that's one thing that they have to be concerned about. He was so happy to make this start, and he had 10 days off. Will he be too strong? That's a perfect location right there. Holliday backs out and has a discussion with home plate umpire Dale Scott. Ventura then raised his eyesight at 100 miles an hour. So far, so good with the elbow.
You know, with that free and easy wind up and delivery, throwing the ball that hard, it's just almost impossible. Effortless.
And then his first breaking ball, 9 of his first 10 pitches were 95 miles an hour and above, including one that hit 100 miles an hour. Holliday, a disciplined hitter, now in his 11th big league season. Ventura went from 1-2 to 3-2. And then takes low, ball 4 and walks. A 2-out walk to Matt Holliday. The batter will be Alan Craig.
Holliday and Carpenter could go down to the wire as who draws the more walks. Both had 33 coming in. Now Holliday with 34 walks.
Alan Craig was their main RBI guy in the month of May. 19 RBIs to lead the club. Overall hitting .246 with 32 runs driven in. And he takes outside and low, and Ventura not missing by very much. Giordano looking for his first win ever at Kauffman Stadium. He is 0-4 at home.
He's due. Got to get some run support.
Craig fouls it off. Kansas City won 6-0 and 8-7 in St. Louis. They lost last night 5-2 in 11 innings. The Cardinals have won the last 8 games at the K. Craig takes low. Good plate discipline by St. Louis.
Craig's approach is right center field. That's where he likes to drive the ball. And the defense seems to know that. Lorenzo Cain, he's way over in right center. With that powerful fastball, a lot of Cardinal hitters will be behind it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The last 2 batters have had a 3-2 count. Missed low to Holliday. He's at first base with 2 out. Both of these teams have been hard pressed to hit home runs. The Royals 30th of the 30th teams in Major League Baseball with 26 homers, and St. Louis second to last with 32. Craig goes to right field and dumps it into right. Holliday, though, stops at second base. The Cardinals have really stirred things up in the first innings of each of the last 2 games. They loaded the bases on Tuesday in St. Louis and did not score, and loaded them last night and did not score.
Very nice hitting. Change up down low. Stayed with it. Like I said earlier, he's not looking to juice a ball out of the park to pull it. He's going to look to dump it, and he did. Tough pitch to do it on.
The Cardinals, like the Royals, looking to break out. St. Louis has lost 6 of their last 8 games and averaging only 3.3 runs per game. So offensively, that has been their trouble this year. Their pitching and their defense has been good, much like Kansas City. YADIER Molina with 5 home runs and 23 RBIs. Just 2 hits, though, in this series in 13 at bats. Strike 1.
So Cain's playing Yachty the same way over there as he played Craig. Opposite field.
Rex, does that have as much to do with the type of hitter he is, but also the velocity on Ventura's fastball?
More about the velocity. Yachty, he likes to hit that balls that way, but he'll pull it too. He's a guy who's going to hit it wherever it's pitched. He's a confident veteran big leaguer that's well decorated. Nothing phases him.
Fouled off. Advantage Ventura at 1-2. When you talk to about every single St. Louis fan, they'll say Molina is their most valuable Cardinal.
And he's not chewing sunflower seeds right now, but what amazes me is that he's so relaxed that he chews seeds up at the plate, takes the seed out of his mouth and spits them out there. It's amazing the coordination and how loose in concentration he is.
That does take unbelievable concentration and coordination.
Oh, it is. When you're standing in that batter's box, a guy throwing some petrol gasoline like that, man, it's hard to have any kind of chewing going on. You got to focus.
Now, do you prefer to break the seed open with your back teeth or your incisors?
Oh, the side, whatever the side is, Fizz. We can't go into that.
We'll move on.
Yeah, we need to. Yadi 267 with runners in scoring position.
In the air, right center field. Cain says he has it. He does. And Ventura with a shutout first inning, but he got some help from his left fielder, Alex Gordon.
Don't you know there's some gold out?
Stadium in Kansas City. Nori Aoki will lead things off. He took last night off. Infante will go number 2, who was the leadoff hitter, and then back to the usual lineup of Hosmer, Butler, and Gordon.
Yep, Gordon hitting it back of Billy Butler. Cain, he's a presence down in the lower third of that order.
The pitcher will be Michael Wacha, the 6'6" right-hander, just 22 years old, born in Iowa City, Iowa, but raised in Pleasant Grove, Texas. And he was a pleasant addition as a rookie last year, moving on to become the National League Championship Series MVP.
Yep, and the Royals offense again in the second night in a row will have their hands full, especially with Yadi at control back there. From one young Gold Glove catcher Salvador Perez to a veteran catcher, they both know how to put down the right fingers. And Wacha, he hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in any of his 12 starts this season. So the Royals offense, if any time to get him, it's the first inning before he gets on track.
He has one of the better changeups in baseball, and that is unusual for a guy as young as he is. 4-3 record, 2.45 ERA in 12 starts.
He's got 93. We might see some 97s in there.
Aoki went down in a heap. Nick Kenny, the Royals head athletic trainer, comes down very quickly. And also his interpreter Kosuke with Ned Yost.
Sometimes this happens. Now, it's never happened to me, but the catcher throwing the ball back to the pitcher, it can be an interesting release point. You got to have the right touch on it, and right here he didn't have it. Now at least it looked like to me he got him in the helmet and not in the ear. Might have gotten a little bit of ear there, but he's going to hang in there with that one. Now Yadi, he feels bad. He didn't mean to do that at all, but that sometimes will happen.
We remember Ivan Rodriguez breaking his hands when he threw a ball back and it hit the bat of an Angel, and he was gone for 5 to 6 weeks.
I mean, you're hopeful you don't get hit in the head with the pitch, let alone the throwback from the catcher.
Yeah, he has a tough enough job trying to get a base hit against Michael Wacha. Aoki comes in at 259, still looking for his first home run. Hit 8 last year with the Milwaukee Brewers. Aoki is AOKI, and he slices one foul. stays alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Walker, mid-90s fastball. He might go a little above that. He cuts that fastball as well. Now, Fizz, his changeup, you mentioned, is his best pitch, but he's been working on bringing in that curveball more.
Ground ball short. Johnny Peralta throws out Aoki. Michael Wacha coming off a good start where he beat San Francisco 2-0. That was another game that Joel Goldberg talked about. He brought the rain. There was a couple of delays, and they finally had to take him out after 6 innings. Only allowed 3 hits, and now will face Infante with a .247 average. He, like many of the Royals, have been quiet outside of Alex Gordon and Lorenzo Cain and Alcides Escobar. Last year, Omar hit .318, which was tops among all American League second basemen. That was as a member of the Detroit Tigers, signed a 4-year deal with Kansas City in the offseason. And a curveball hit up the middle. Peralta has it, and 2 out. If you will go after Michael Wacha's first 2 pitches, Rex, you're going to have a greater chance of reaching base.
So the numbers say. However, that 168 with a 3rd pitch on, sometimes the numbers don't lie, but in baseball, those don't tell the day-to-day story. You got to go up there and compete. You got to battle each at bat.
Eric Hosmer has had some extreme highs in this series and also some extreme lows. On Tuesday night, he got the game-winning hit as the Royals beat St. Louis at Busch Stadium 8-7. But then last night, he became the first Royal since Shane Halter in 1997 with 4 strikeouts in 1 game against the same pitcher. And now he grounds out to Matt Carpenter and Wacha with a comfortable first inning. 3 ground ball outs.
Find those holes.
St. Louis and fans, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Ventura worked a shutout first. Did allow a couple of base runners, one on a walk, another on a hit. Oscar Taveras will step to the plate. I would imagine these guys maybe faced each other growing up. Giordano just turned 23 the other day. He's out of the Dominican Republic, and so is Oscar, who is 21. And he sends one foul. Taveras, their top prospect. Ventura, the Royals' #1 guy. Both rookies. Oscar hit .325 with 7 home runs, 40 RBIs at AAA Memphis before he got the call up. And he chases an off-speed pitch. Is it held on? He may have been able to get a piece of it.
Yep, he fouled it off. Taveras, just his 19th at bat. He is so young right now in the game.
He goes to left field. Gordon is there. 1 out. And speaking of youth in the game, let's take a look at the first 10 picks in the Major League Baseball draft. Brady Aiken, the left-hander we've been hearing all about from San Diego, California, taken #1. And Tyler Kolek, who is 6'5", 245 pounds and 18 years old. He was taken second by Miami. Rodon out of North Carolina State, a lefty. And then a catcher taken. How about that? A catcher, Kyle Schwarber, taken by the Cubs, and he helped Indiana's Hoosiers to their first College World Series.
Catchers are a hard find. If you find 1 or 2 of them, you got to get them.
How about Mr. and Mrs. Molina? They found 3.
Believe that.
Johnny Peralta, the batter, and all 3 won World Series. Benji and Jose with the Angels, and of course Yadier with St. Louis. The Royals will pick 17th, so they're a couple away. The last pick was the 13th. Shortstop Trey Turner out of North Carolina State going to San Diego. Next up the Angels, then Arizona, then the Royals. And Dayton Moore told the media that pitching is a premium, but they'll go with the best player. In there on the outside corner, strike 3 called for a strikeout for Ventura.
Dale Scott, 29th year as an umpire. I like his punch out call. It's a little short little jab. It's like a little punch in the gut. And he's saying with his body language, Peralta, you got to go. With a short little jab. You hate to see that when you're a hitter, Fizz.
Did you see it a bit?
Oh, all the time. And I learned if you don't hack, they'll make you go back.
John Jay out of the University of Miami, former 2nd round pick. And he hits a rope into right center field. He stays hot. Jay with his 3rd hit in this series in just 5 at bats. He wants that starting outfield job back.
Fastball away. 96 just off the end of his bat.
So Peter Borges comes up, and he was one of the key guys in that 11th inning last night. He had a walk, then stole second base, and scored the go-ahead run in the 11th inning when Carpenter knocked him in with his 5th hit. Down low at 97.
We all know that Peter Borges can run, but that right field camera shot we had of him stealing a base last night late in the game was explosive. Watching him run with that forward lean, he was impressive. Mike Matheny was telling me before the game that they thought he could run when they got him, but they had no idea to seeing him live how quick he really is.
He had as many as 50 stolen bases in the minor leagues, but the most he had with the Angels was 22. He was never able to stay healthy. The 2-1 pitch is hit to the same spot, right center field. Cain must get to it in a hurry, but does not, and that will score John Jay from first base. Borges to third with a triple. 1-0 Cardinals.
This is why outfielders, when Ventura's pitching, have to shade the right-handed hitters to the opposite field. Fastballs, they're going to be behind it, but if it's out over the plate anywhere, a big league hitter is going to put this bat on it. And CAIN, a rare play where he didn't cut that ball off. Might have taken a different route. But here he is. He sees it himself. Doesn't need the third base coach to know, and he starts cruising after he hits second base. He knows he's got it.
Now the toughest Cardinal at the plate, Matt Carpenter, who was robbed of a hit, would have been his 8th straight, but Alex Gordon with a diving catch in left field. Ventura knows he's got to keep this St. Louis offense down with Michael Wacha pitching so well for the Cardinals. Breaking ball low.
Ventura says, yikes. That looked pretty good. See if he takes that away from Wacha.
To the right side, Infante has it and tosses to Eric Hosmer. That will end the inning, but St. Louis takes the early lead on a 2-out base hit by Peter Borges. Wacha back on the hill. Our Sprint family question of the day: how many former first-round picks are currently on the Royals 25-man roster? Text ABC or D to 432-432. Well, here is one of them. Billy Butler was selected in the first round, 14th overall in the 2004 June free agent draft out of a high school in Orange Park, Florida. Grew up in that Jacksonville, Florida, that's produced a lot of good talent. Fouled back.
Hey, Billy swinging early. Got to get him before he gets you.
The Royals fouling back a lot of mistakes that opposing pitchers have been throwing. Wacha misses low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You might remember that Michael made his major league debut May 30th against the Royals. Pitched extremely well, but received a no decision. And Butler slices one down the right field line, foul. So the count stays at 1-2.
Two-strike approach. Going to try to fight that ball off if it's middle away to right field.
Up the middle and backhanded by the second baseman Colton Wong. A little high throw. Craig had to come off the bag, but tags Butler as he slides by. So that's 4 ground ball outs by Michael Wacha, the first 4 Royals that he faced. We were talking about Wacha's major league debut, and that was in that wild game in St. Louis. He went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 2 hits, but there was such a long rain delay that the game ended at 3:15 in the morning. And the Royals took the sandbags out there. They came back on Wacha and the Cardinals, tied it up, took the lead in the 9th, and survived in the end to win 4-2.
Joe West was the unsung hero of that one. Because if you remember, they got that game in. Joe, he did all he could. They were talking to Major League Baseball. They were talking to a lot of people around the game. And so Joe West really knew, I think, how important it was to complete that game. And for the Royals, that win broke a losing streak, and they went on a nice little streak after that.
Gordon with the fly ball to left. John Jay takes care of it. 5 up, 5 down for Michael Wacha. And Rex, the other thing was that Joe West crew had a game, I think, the next afternoon in Chicago, and they had to get into a limo and drive from St. Louis to Chicago to get to their next assignment.
Yeah, a day game, so they had very little sleep. Wind blowing uncharacteristically in from right field.
You know, Rex, I never did check the time of that Chicago game that Joe West crew umpired the next day. I wonder if it lasted an hour and a half. Every pitch was a strike.
Yeah, that's right. They want to go get
We're tired. Let's get out of here. They want to secure a Salvador Perez autograph and get a ticket to a Royals game starting at just $13 a seat. With Salvi's 13 pack, you can get that. And a free Royals hat, tickets to 12 Royals home games, and Sal will even throw in a 13th game for free, the July 12th Perez bobblehead night. Well, Salvador strikes out here, and Wacha looks awfully strong through 2. Through Monday and watch Yankees shortstop Derek Jeter play his final series in KC. The series includes summer fireworks tomorrow, presented by Hy-Vee and Pepsi, and a Nori Aoki poster giveaway to the first 10,000 fans on Sunday, presented by Magnaflex and Pitcraft Printing. Plenty of tickets are still available, so visit Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS now for those tickets.
This guy's not really sure, is he?
Confused.
It's okay. It's not the only one.
We are in the heartland, so it's all right to be for both. We hit to the third inning. Colton Wong will lead things off. He'll be followed by Matt Holliday and then Alan Craig. Meantime, the Royals are on the clock for their first round pick, 17th overall in the Major League Baseball draft. Touki Toussaint was just selected by the Arizona Diamondbacks, a right-handed pitcher out of Florida. Wong down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That changeup he's going to have to bring in a little bit more consistently. Keep those guys off that fastball.
To center field, Lorenzo CAIN is there, and the catch is made for out number 1. Matt Holliday goes gap left center field. That ball will drop. CAIN gets to it in a hurry, fires to second base, but Holliday will make it safely with a 1-out double. And right now the Cardinals are hitting all the gaps, Rex. Jay Borges went right center. Alan Craig went right center. And now Holliday goes left center.
That 14th double on the season. You see that? And they've hit all of them but the changeup. And it's because of where they're located. You're in the middle.
Now Alan Craig, who didn't try and pull the baseball with Ventura. Ventura tried to dot the outside corner at the knees, left it up, and Craig sent it to right field.
Okay, it's a breaking ball that's up. It wasn't exactly a hanger, but it was up and out over the middle, and you see where he made contact with the phantom cam. In on the label. That's the reason he didn't juice that ball out of the ballpark. If he barrels that, that's out.
Holliday not a threat to go.
And you know, maybe not a big base stealer, but he's a good situational runner. He's learned how with his instincts. He's looking around. There's only 1 out, so he's making a visual note of the outfielders where they're playing, the infielders, so he can react on contact.
Escobar will take care of Craig as Holliday makes it to third.
Ball not hit that hard. He thought about it, but then I think he got a little smart there. He said, you know what, I'm going to keep that valuable right hand away from that ball and let the good hands people take over.
He missed 1 start because of discomfort in his right elbow. He didn't need soreness in his right hand.
We've seen pitchers put their hand out to catch a line drive. And that is a no-no. That's a quick way to get on the disabled list. Even a ball that's a chopper like that, I don't care if it's hit softly, never ever, if you're a pitcher, try to grab that ball with your hand. Fingers are too valuable. Bone bruises. Just a peeled back fingernail will keep you sometimes from your next start.
St. Louis, meantime, was one of the best clutch hitting teams last year, but they're almost 100 points lower this season. Yadier Molina with 2 out, runner at third base, hits it to the right side. Infante has it, and Molina is the final out. So good job by Ventura after the 1-out double by Holliday.
moments ago. The Royals making their first pick of the 2014 Major League Draft. It is a college pitcher, left-hander, Brandon Finnegan out of Texas Christian University, selected by the Royals with the 17th overall pick. He's a 5'11", 185-pound lefty that deals around 93 to 95 miles an hour, can get up into the upper 90s. And so the Royals going the college route for the third year in a row. It was Kyle Zimmer in 2012, Hunter Dozier last year, and now they go back the college pitching route. And interesting, Fizz and Hud, because Kyle Zimmer's brother, Bradley Zimmer, an outfielder from the University of San Francisco, was available, but they go the pitching route, taking Brandon Finnegan.
They do have the 28th pick in the first round, so Zimmer, who knows, might be available. But Dayton Moore continues to show his interest in left-handed pitchers. 2 years ago, it was Sam Selman, drafted in the second round out of Vanderbilt. Sean Manaea out of Indiana State was the supplemental pick last year, and he is now at High A Wilmington. And now Brandon Finnegan, taken in the first round by Kansas City, 17th overall.
Saw a lot of arms and legs there. There's some deception there with that windup.
Interesting, only 5'11", and here's a guy, first round pick by St. Louis, 6'6", 215-pound Michael Wacha. He lasted until the 19th overall. Boy, look at that pitch. Tremendous changeup with great depth, and Lorenzo does not bite. Lorenzo hitting .370 at home. Had a big hit last night that tied the game in the 9th inning. Royals hoped they could win it in the bottom of the 9th, but St. Louis took it from them in 11. CAIN tries to drop it to right. He does so just in front of Taveras.
Pitch before that, he called timeout. He wasn't going to let Wacha pitch on his terms with his rhythm, so he stepped out barely, and he got his toe hold back in there, and he got a high fastball, but a good level swing. Fought it off, and he got him a knock. Sometimes that pitcher will get into a fast rhythm and a fast motion, and you as a hitter can control it by getting in when you want.
That is shot to the first baseman, Craig, and that is tough luck. Oh man, Mike Moustakas just ripped one. It results in a double play. That likely would have tied the game.
That ball would have run around that right field warning track area. CAIN probably would have scored. There's nothing you can do on that.
But for Moose, he's got to believe I'm snake bit, even when I hit it hard.
Yep, good contact. He was ready for a first pitch fastball. No vibration with the bat. He squared that up. So you let that go quickly.
CAIN gets jammed, bloops one into right field, and then Moustakas can't hit one any harder, and he lines into a 3 unassisted double play.
That's why you let it go. You can't control a lot of those things.
Escobar goes to right field, but right at Taveras, and he'll make the catch. And very quickly, 3 outs for the Royals in the 3rd. O'Neill legacy seat. Over the years, Patty has played a role in a number of organizations, including the American Red Cross, KU School of Social Welfare, the United Way of Greater Kansas City, and Friends of the Zoo. Recognized with dozens of honors, Patty was recently named one of City Union Mission's Women Who've Changed the Heart of the City. Throughout her experience, Patty takes great pride in knowing she's helped others in our community. CAIN will take care of Oscar Taveras. Went after the first pitch. So one quick out for Yordano Ventura. Now we'll have to face Johnny Peralta.
That early count out was good. He needs a few more of those. He can stay longer.
Sometimes we forget how young these guys are, and Ventura just turned 23 on Tuesday. Ground ball up the middle. Escobar will take it and throw out Johnny for the second out. And Rex, I bring that up because Bruce Chen said before he had a bullpen session, Yordano was kind of serious. Was sitting in the dugout. He was supporting his teammates, but he just seemed down. And then he had one little side session where he simply played catch with Dave Island, felt good, and he said he was like a kid again. And Bruce goes, here I am, 36 years old, and I forget what it was like to be 22. And he's flicking sunflower seeds at his buddies the next day. He was smiling, laughing, and joking. And Bruce goes, man, I feel like his dad, where I'm saying, hey, son, calm down. But he was so excited because he felt good again.
Yeah, and those emotions are good. You want those, and you want to nourish that. And I'm sure that those veteran pitchers do. I know that James Shields, I was talking to him today, and he said, I said, how many times have you had a problem with the outside of your elbow or someplace like that? And he said every year. He said Ventura is just going through that. He's starting to learn, you know, and he's learning about his first little ailment that fortunately it wasn't serious, but pitchers and players go through those things a lot. And most of these players out here already, not even halfway through the season, already have something going on in their body that's not right. Maybe a sore muscle or you know, sore bone, a bone bruise somewhere. So you really have to tough it out. This is a man's game. It's very, very taxing on your body. Even though there's not a lot of physical contact, it can really wear you down.
And what about the mental exhaustion that goes in with playing every day?
That's more. That's even harder. These guys are all trained. They've been doing it since they've been young. They're all the best in the world. And sometimes, like Moose hits that ball like that on a line drive, that can stick with you for a while, but you've got to wash it away quickly. Let it go. Let the bad go. And the good, as far as that matters. You got to stay on an even keel if you can.
Ventura has Borges down 0-2. This is the guy who hurt him in the second inning. With 2 out, Jay singled and Borges tripled. Same situation here. 2 out, Jay singled. But now Ventura trying to get Borges. Sends one sharply down the left field line. Into the corner it goes, and it is a foul ball. Wow, he turned on that one. Hit it way back.
And you know, it was an easy swing. When you got a guy throwing that hard, you don't have to have a good swing. I mean, a big heavy swing. You just put an easy swing on it and he'll supply the power. See how easy that looked? The velocity on the pitch is enough to generate the bat speed.
He hit it 422 feet off James Shields the other day for a home run that gave the Cardinals the lead, but the Royals would charge back and win it 8-7. But you can't leave a fastball up to this guy. That is in his happy zone. So it's the low target, misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's really a good sign for him to come in there like that. That'll put that in the back of the hitter's mind. It's 97 and boring in.
Blocked by Salvador. So he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. Didn't want to do that. Now Jay will be off and running on the pitch.
Trusty hands back there. Just keep it in front of you. Salvi, what he's doing is he's saying just nice and calm, nice and calm. 3-2 count, points to first base to tell the infielders who plays at first. Runner will be going.
Borges takes outside. We're seeing some very good at bats by the Cardinals in this game 4. They are the National League champions. They won 97 games last year. They've won a couple of world championships the last decade. And now the last thing that Ventura wanted to do was walk Borges to get to the ultra hot Carpenter. He's been able to get Matt out twice, but he was 7 for 11 in this series prior to that and had put together 7 straight hits. There aren't too many times where an offensive player can dominate. Carpenter did last night. And he hits it to past Hosmer. Infante backing up. Do they have a play at the plate? No, it's 2-0 St. Louis. All the damage being done with 2 out.
Cardinals 5 for 8 with 2 outs tonight. 2 walks and a triple. Ball just glanced off his glove. Ventura cut it because it was coming right to him. He knew there was no play at the plate.
Giordano causing his own problems. He has not been as sharp as we've seen him. Borges vulnerable down, and he got a lot of pitches up. Borges tripled in the second, and then he got him 0-2 down in the count and walked him. Colton Wong 0 for 2, a ground out and fly out. Popped up left side. Gordon in foul territory. Makes the catch and doesn't have to slam into the wall.
Whew. That's a relief.
But 4 rugged innings for Ventura. He's allowed only 2 runs, but he's given up 6 hits. Left the Cardinals back in the count. By Panera, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Cardinals lead it 2-0. They're hitting it where they ain't. The Royals are hitting it where they are. Stock is absolutely roped one, but right to Alan Craig. It would have been down the line and scoring a run. Instead, Borges has been a thorn in the side of Kansas City early with a triple and a walk. And then, of course, Carpenter did some damage again. And here is Aoki. Aoki better back off the plate. And Molina's returning the throw to Waka.
Waka's maturing very rapidly. When he made that start last year, first major league start against the Cardinals, against the Royals, he looked like a polished veteran then. Now this year I'm seeing him, he's changing speeds on his fastball. There was the one earlier in the first at bat where YADIER hit him in the helmet on the throwback. Don't see that very often. I'll bet in YADIER's 10 years that might be the first time that's ever happened for him.
Oh, I would imagine. I mean, I've never seen it happen. I've seen him hit a bat on the throwback when the bat was still in the zone. The guy just kind of swinging. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Aoki chops it over the head of Wacha. Coming in quickly, Wong, and Aoki is out, number 2. So with 1 down, the batter will be Omar Infante. He was 0 for 5 last night as the leadoff hitter. A curveball that is lined to the third baseman Carpenter. Well, the Royals, the ones that they've squared up, they've hit them right at infielders in red.
That was a hanging ball, breaking ball. He did what he was supposed to do. He made some good solid contact on it, and there's not a thing you can do. You just hope that as early as it is in the game, they'll start falling later.
Royals have been waiting for 2 months for their offense to get going. Hosmer only batting .170 his last couple of weeks, and he lists this one foul. But he is still among the league leaders in doubles. Here's our Toyota Let's Go Places scoreboard. He and Plouffe are tied for the AL lead with 20. The Royals looking desperately for power. There aren't too many teams. There are no other teams where the 3-4 hitters have only 2 home runs, 1 each. Hosmer with 1, Butler with 1.
Last night, Wainwright didn't have to throw him any strikes because he was so aggressive, swinging at almost everything because he's a little bit over anxious.
Ventura resting. He's given up 2 runs in 4 innings. Wacha pitching a little like Wainwright did last night. Wainwright has been Wacha's tutor, much like Chris Carpenter was the guy for Adam.
Yeah. Earlier in Matheny's office, we were talking about that, how the Cardinals and their pitchers have always passed secrets down. And they've always mentored the younger guys coming in. And just like you said, Carpenter to Wainwright, Wainwright to Wacha, or to Wacha, it's a thing that they do to help pass the game along to these guys. Little secrets are important.
And for the Royals, the guy you were talking with earlier tonight, James Shields, has become that guy.
That's right.
Back to Wacha. 3 up, 3 down. To the 5th we go. St. Louis 2, the Royals nothing.
Sports Kansas City will be supporting the Paul Splittorff Memorial Golf Classic on June 27th at Adams Point Golf Club. Please purchase sponsorships or golf foursomes to benefit St. Mary's Manor, a senior care facility. Call 816-220-4228 or look for Split Golf on Facebook. Looking forward to that, guys. I'll be emceeing the lunch, and always fun to be able to get out there, raise some good money, and tell some Paul Splittorff stories, and there are a never-ending amount of those. And Split guys would have loved this pitching matchup tonight. Two guys on the mound with great stuff that really know how to deal. And some interesting numbers between these two, because both young pitchers, and Ventura is actually a little bit older than Michael Wacha, having just turned 23, and a nice nifty play there by Giordano, and the easy out, able to retire Matt Holliday. But how about these numbers, guys? Michael Wacha with runners on, 204 opponent's batting average. That's even better than Ventura's. With runners in scoring position, 193 to Ventura's 214, and with two outs, 087 and 174. Spectacular for the 22-year-old Wacha, the 23-year-old Ventura. Talking to Rick Horton, the Cardinals TV announcer, about that, he said a couple of reasons why, as far as Wacha goes. One, extraordinary makeup, had that postseason experience, and he never folded, never loses his focus. And the second is nasty put-away stuff when he needs to go and get it. And I think that those similarities between Ventura are definitely there, outside of course, the experience Wacha had last year in the postseason.
My biggest question is, how did he last till the 19th overall pick 2 years ago? He was fantastic, and All-American at Texas A&M, going 27-7. In his first pro year, struck out 40 batters in just 21 innings. Well, Craig got jammed. Did he go? Yes, he did. Advantage Ventura at 1-2.
That's a lethal pitch right there. That ball's got some hair on it. That ball's moving across that plate, coming in hard. Ventura shook Salvi, wanted the fastball.
Ground ball short. Escobar throws out Craig, 2 gone. That's why it's so difficult to evaluate baseball talent. Wacha lasts till the 19th overall. Ventura drafted at 140 pounds, not drafted, but signed by the Royals at the age of 17. And he admits, I was 5'10", 140 pounds through 82. Yeah. Signed it for $28,000.
Right. I mean, that tells you about the inexact science of the draft. You just don't know sometimes. It's almost a gamble. And you just hope and pray that one of those guys becomes a guy.
Well, the Royals drafted Brandon Finnegan, first round, 17th overall, a left-handed pitcher out of TCU today. He's 20 years old. Meantime, a couple of guys of local interest. Wichita State's Casey Gillespie was taken 20th overall by Tampa Bay, and Cleveland took Kyle Zimmer's brother Bradley out of the University of San Francisco. That's down the line, fair ball. All the trouble happening with 2 out. Gordon with a rifle throw to second base, and Molina is out. Gordon's done it again.
Wow. As slowly as that ball was hit, I didn't think there was a chance to get him at second base. 5th outfield assist for Gordon. Matheny coming out. They might want to take a look at this one again. Mike Aldretti getting the word from the replay coach that's inside their clubhouse.
Every manager gets one challenge until that 7th inning.
Aldos, he's too smart to be a coach. Stanford grad, but he loves it. He loves the game.
Well, they will check it out as Dale Scott will talk to New York, and we'll take a look at that replay again.
It's Alex. It's the route he takes to get enough on the throw. He circles into the ball, much like a shortstop will on a play in the hole. How you have to circle around. Let's look at this tag again. Ooh, man, I'm gonna tell you, that was a close one.
But is it clear and convincing evidence to overturn it?
No. Infielders are trained to put the tag on the runner and then pull it up. Show the umpire once you make the tag. Sometimes if you leave it down in there too long, the runner will jar it loose.
Ventura, meantime, has had no trouble getting the first 2 Cardinals out, but after that, it's been a challenge, and Gordon helped him out in this case. But we're still waiting if that will be the call from New York. In the first inning, Giordano got the first 2 Cardinals out, then a walk and a single. Finally got Molina. Second inning, got the first 2 Cardinals out, then a single and a triple. And in the 4th inning, first 2 Cardinals made out. Jay with a single, Borges with a walk, and Carpenter knocked him in.
See how Alex, see the circle that he made with his footprints in the track there? That's how you're able to gather yourself and get something on the throw. If you just take a direct shot to it and then stop, you have no momentum. So Alex knows from his infield days how to circle into that ball and get something on the throw, and he's extremely accurate.
They hope to get these completed within 90 seconds.
Infante with quick hands. CB Bucknor, he was in good position. He was sitting right there, standing right there, just looking at that.
There haven't been too many base runners testing Alex Gordon lately. The reputation of his great arm has gotten around the big leagues.
A speedier runner obviously would have made that. Alex probably wouldn't even have thrown it, but that's knowing the speed of the runner. And infielders, you know, you have to know the speed of the runner. That's very important. But outfielders, you don't think so much about the speed because you're not going to throw the guy out at first base. However, on a double like that, you know you're going to have a little bit more time.
Alex has 58 assists since becoming a full-time outfielder in 2011, our most in the majors in that span by a wide margin. He's out. They confirm the ruling on the field by CB Bucknor. Molina is the final out, and the call stands.
You can't run on Alex.
Day right around the corner, Rex. You can give old Dad a gift he'll never forget. Have Slugger personally deliver a Father's Day sluggergram consisting of a Royals koozie, Tippins, apple pie, tickets, and more. Deliveries are available June 13th through the 15th. Visit royals.com/slugger for more information.
That Tippins apple pie is making me hungry.
They are delicious. They've been serving them upstairs at the media room. They had a key lime pie tonight. Delicious. I'm a little partial to the cherry pie myself. Billy Butler will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning, grounded out to second base. Waka has allowed only one hit, and that was to Lorenzo CAIN, who blooped one to right field, but 2 other balls were really crushed hard. One by Moustakas, the other by Infante, but both right at Cardinal infielders.
Descalzo in the game. Wong having some problems from that play he made in St. Louis with his shoulder. He's still a little bit stiff.
And Billy chasing one out of the strike zone. Coaches have been preaching to their hitters, get your pitch, not the pitcher's pitch. The batting average has dropped to .252. And that is 10th in the American League. They're 13th in runs scored, and of course last in home runs. But Kansas City still staying in it because of pitching and defense. They're 28-31, 5 games back of Detroit. And that ball well struck to left field.
Catch
into the corner. Billy with a leadoff double. So it's time for our Honda dealer's most trusted player, MTP of the game, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
How can you not trust this guy? If you're a pitcher on the Kansas City Royals, you love the way Alex Gordon goes about his job. He is going to give you everything he's got, and he's got extreme talent. #1 draft choice talent. That's right.
2nd overall in 2005. Strike one.
But to take a quote from the late Don Zimmer, what you lack in talent can be made up with desire, hustle, and given 100% all the time. This guy, Alex Gordon, has talent, but he gives you that 100% and that desire and hustle. That's what you love about him.
The great Don Zimmer passed away yesterday. 66 years in the game. Out of play, advantage Waka, 1-2.
Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Alex, .388 hitter with a runner in scoring position. He's been hot, and he's doing it with a nice easy swing. He's not overswinging. He's not trying too hard. He's actually trying less, and that's important when it comes to reacting to a pitcher's pitch in that batter's box. So important to be relaxed.
He is just behind Miguel Cabrera, the machine of Detroit. He's hitting .418. Gordon at .388. Alex takes low and inside. We're seeing more and more of that. He has 7 walks in his last 7 games.
And that's one of the reasons why he's so productive. He's making them throw strikes. And every team that plays the Royals after this series, most of them are here. They're scouting that.
He does work the walk. So he 2 on with nobody out in the 5th inning.
He was telling himself, I don't have to be the guy to do it. If he doesn't give me my pitch, I'll take the base. Let the next guy do it.
So here comes Salvador Perez, dangerous batter. But has Salvi been stretching his strike zone? We're seeing not as strong numbers with men in scoring position this year, and a lot of double plays.
It's because he's been trying too hard. And for young hitters, that's a tendency that a lot of them have. Even veteran hitters. We've seen some Cardinal veteran hitters, Craig and Holliday. swinging at pitches that they normally don't.
Got jammed inside on a pitch that was likely a ball. And Salvador now down in the count 0-2. We told you 6 for 49 with runners in scoring position and only one base hit in his last 23 trips up there.
He's going to have to lay off of that pitch there for sure. Not just because you can't be productive on that pitch, but it's jamming that right thumb even worse. You could see him. He was messing with his thumb guard. That hurt him.
Craig has it, bobbles a baseball. Only play will be first base, and that helps because now Butler's at third, Gordon is at second base, so at least Salvador Perez advances both and keeps the Royals out of a double play.
Good opposite field approach with 2 strikes. He's trying to guide that ball out there. Craig just couldn't get the handle out. And they'll take that break. Second and third, Lorenzo Cain, another money man up there with a .378 average with runners in scoring position.
He came through with the big hit in the 9th inning that tied the game, lacing a single off of Trevor Rosenthal to right center field. Walker's able to get strike 1 across.
It's a big curveball that was sitting up in the zone. He's 11 for his last 22 with runners out there, second and beyond.
The Cardinals will give up a run to get an out. They have both middle infielders well back.
It's good. Keep that same focus he's had right up the middle.
Popped it up. In the first 2 games of this series, the Royals were 9 for 18 with runners in scoring position. But Wainwright did a number on them anytime they got a runner to third base. And finally, Wainwright came out of the game in the 9th. The Royals were able to come back with a couple of clutch hits. Now they are desperate for one from Mike Moustakas.
First pitch, Moose was hacking in the 3rd inning. Fastball. You wonder if he'll give him one here, first pitch. I doubt it. Let's see what Yadi puts down.
He does go after the first pitch. Borges back, makes the catch, and the Royals are turned back in the 5th. They had a great opportunity. Runners second and third, 1 out, but do not score. Thoroughbred Ford. Check out the huge selection of the F-150s at the Thoroughbred Ford. And by Kingsford Charcoal. Slow down and grill. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. We head to the 6th inning of play. Cardinals with a 2-0 lead. That was the same score through 5 last night. Same score entering the 9th inning. Well, Ventura needs to extend his work because the Royals bullpen a little weary. Ned Yost wanted to stay away from Kelvin Herrera and Aaron Crow because they have been worked a lot in recent weeks. Oscar Taveras takes it down low, 2 balls and no strikes. So Ned knows how important that Wade Davis and Greg Holland are, but Greg has gone in back-to-back nights. Pressure on the Royals pitching staff every single night because of a quiet offense. Davis available though after going back-to-back games in 1 and 2.
Well, the offense has actually perked up. They've done their job. They've been supplying some runs. But when you run into Wainwright, you run into a kid like Walker, you know, that, if they're on their game, you got to get them. Just like last inning, you've got to be able to come up with a big hit. But when they're on, it's not a lot of hitting going on.
Taveras grounds out to first. And you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com. Royals and will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. That's rallyhouse.com/Royals. And Wade Davis obviously having an absolutely fantastic year as a 8th inning set of man and averaging about 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. Johnny Peralta the batter. Popped him up. Ventura gets the 2nd out, and that was his 86th pitch. So not bad, almost through 6 innings. He gave up just 2 runs, 1 in the first. With 2 out, Peter Borges tripled in John Jay. With 2 out in the 4th, Matt Carpenter singled sharply off the glove of Eric Hosmer to drive in John Jay. Jay's on fire right now. He is 4 for his last 6 and 2 for 2 in this one.
Overall, Ventura, he's doing a nice job. They've only got a couple of runs on him. And missing a start, watch out. Missing a start is you know, going to affect his timing a little bit. But obviously there is no elbow issues.
One ball, 2 strikes. Francisli Bueno working in the Kansas City pen. And Ned Yost and Dave Eilert both said it wouldn't be the number of pitches that Giordano throws, but did he have one particularly taxing inning. But they said they'd watch him closely. Remember, a very talented young pitcher. Missing his start because of discomfort in his right elbow, but the MRI showed very clean ligament, no damage. Center field, CAIN. And Ventura gets the Cardinals in order in the 6th. Cave Island visiting with Yordano Ventura. And as you know, the 6th inning is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Mark Thompson from Pleasant Hill, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Mark will win $2,800. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Mark will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
Michael Wacha, he's gone 6+ innings in 10 of his 12 starts this year, so he's a pretty reliable guy. You know, if he's pitching or Wainwright, your bullpen's going to get a little rest.
Escobar cracks one deep to left. Into the corner it goes. And Esky racing to second base. He will make it with a leadoff double.
Hey,
for the second straight inning, they led off with a double. Can they bring him home?
Trying to start over again. They've got some time. Leadoff double. Aoki up, coming here. That's a pitch that he should hit right down the middle. Couldn't get enough elevation on to get it out of the yard, but that's a nice little kickstart. See if Aoki can move him over here. Should be able to do the job. And when you're struggling like Aoki's been, you get him over, that's golden.
He is 5 for his last 38, has not gotten the ball out of the infield tonight, and checks his swing and rolls one foul.
Doesn't like to pull the ball all that often because he seems like he's falling out towards first base a lot, and it leaves his bat head behind, and he slaps that ball to left field. But here's where you want to get that bat head out.
Now finds himself down 0-2, and now the bunt taken away, and Carpenter backs up at third. He'll still play in, but even with the bag now, and Craig back at first base.
A little surprised he didn't bunt him over.
Aoki not looking like the guy the Brewers had last year, who hit .286 with 8 home runs. His batting average has dipped to .257 with this recent slump. Two balls, 2 strikes. In the 5th inning, Butler doubled to lead off. Gordon then walked, but Perez grounded out, Cain popped up, and Moustakas flied out.
Aoki wants to stay away from ground balls that left side unless he can find a hole. Peralta's holding him on, giving him some more room in that hole.
Fair ball. This will score Escobar. Aoki with a double, making it 2-1.
That'll work. That's what they're looking for, a big hit. Slice that left field line. I thought for sure he was going to bunt, and then when he didn't with 2 strikes, and he does bunt with 2 strikes, he went away with that and just caught the inside of that line. Perfect placement. Now we'll see what Infante does. Now Infante, he's a little bit different hitter. You don't want him to give up and out with a bunt. He can score him with a base hit, and that's what you want him to do, swing the bat. A .286 hitter with a runner in scoring position. Try to shoot him over to right field.
Omar takes a shot that way and sends it straight back as Wacha went with his heater at 93.
You see how he stays inside of that ball. He waits and makes contact when the ball's out over the plate. That's how he's able to direct it that way. Timely hit.
Royals with 4 hits, 3 of them doubles in this game off Wacha.
And they could have more with those line shots they hit to the corners. Those usually result in runs.
Good point. One by Moose that was ripped down the right field line that Craig turned into a double play, and the other by Infante, a liner to Carpenter at third. He was fooled and one up. I haven't seen a swing like that from Infante in a long time.
No, and what he was doing was he was guessing, and then he panicked at the last minute. He thought for sure he was going to get one of those breaking balls, and then that's just a reaction there.
especially when you lay a ball in a hitter's eyes up around his letters. You want to swing at that.
Omar does not want to pop up or strike out. One ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Walker's thrown 77 pitches. They're still controlling him. He's never thrown more than 7 innings this year, and topped 100 pitches only 4 times in his 12 starts. Another shot at right field, but just flips it over the Royals dugout.
Now, Infante's a smart enough hitter to know that they also know the situation. With nobody out, a runner at second base, he wants to hit that ball over there. However, with 2 strikes here, if he throws him an inside fastball, it's okay to turn on that. You can get him in and over. Trade places with Aoki.
To the shortstop, Peralta looks as Aoki goes to third base, but Nori got a good break, and Infante does get Aoki, who represents the tying run, to third base.
If you're a base runner, anything hit hard at you or to your left, you can advance, and Aoki, he read that right away. Peralta's not going to take a shot at him at third base at this particular time in the game. Good reaction.
Nori with the lead at third as Hosmer digs in. Infield in for St. Louis. And ball in the dirt, blocked beautifully by Molina.
Haas wants to have the same approach that Alex Gordon had in his last at bat, where he drew a walk. Okay, Gordon knew, look, you know, he didn't give him anything, so he didn't swing at it, so he let the next guy do it.
Shot down the right field line, but foul, hooking into the seats.
Hosmer goes to the opposite field well, but when the infield's drawn in, you want the pitch out over the plate and try to direct it right back up the middle. Those are some really good lanes, and the infielders have no chance at them.
Carpenter is standing on the base and then comes off, and there's Hosmer with a base hit to right. Aoki scores the tying run.
Love to see the characteristic of these young Royals. They refuse to buckle. They continue to pressure. A really good pitcher and finding that hole. Hosmer waited. He fouled off a couple, but he got the one he wanted, and he didn't miss it. That's the key to beating a good pitcher. When he gives you that one, that cookie, you can't miss it.
Billy did not miss his pitch last time up. Drilled a double into the left field corner. And he cracks this one deep. Borges going back. He will make the catch. Billy thought he got it over his head. So did I. Borges got a good jump in center field. Was able to run it down in left center. Royals striking it well in the 6th.
Love the Phantom Cam. Whenever he's in town, we'd love to show you the shots, because whenever a guy squares a ball up like that, there's no vibration to the bat, and when we see it on the inside of the handle or on the off the end, you see vibration run all the way through the hitter's hands and through his elbows.
Much like last night, the Royals have come back to tie it. Can they take the lead? Gordon is their hottest hitter, and he takes ball 1.
Even though the wind is blowing in here at the K, that cannot contain Alex Gordon when he gets a hold of one out there.
Mark Thompson is rooting for Alex Gordon, because if he goes deep in this 6th inning, Mark will win $2,800. One ball, 2 strikes. Waka was razor sharp his first 4 innings, but the Royals have gotten to him in the 5th and 6th. He left 2 stranded in the 5th, The Royals have scored twice in this inning, and now Gordon bloops one towards center. Borges comes on. He won't be able to make the play, and the Royals will have 2 on with 2 out.
Waka just has 1 strikeout tonight, so he's having a hard time finishing guys off when he gets 2 strikes on him. Doesn't look like his fastball's anywhere near the velocity that they said it was. They were telling me that we might see some 97s. We haven't seen that.
So Salvador Perez is up 4 for 14 in this series. Came in hitting .350 in his career against the Cardinals. Ball 1. They have been laying off that breaking ball in the later innings.
Stay on that ball. Stay up the middle, right field with your mental approach.
He went.
Salvi just seems like he's fighting himself. He's trying to figure it out. One big hit sometimes can turn your whole season around.
He hits that one back up the middle. It will find center field. Here comes Hosmer. The throw by Borges is not in time. Royals take a 3-2 lead.
Big time clutch hit there by staying simple, looking for the pitch out over, and he's going to give you something. Stayed on top of the ball. He didn't try to pull off of it. That's exactly what's going to get Salvi back on track. That type of stroke with a stake attached to it. Oh, timely. Good hitting by the Royals in this inning off Waka. Phantom cam straight. Good balance there. He's got a good little leg bend. Nice follow through. Short to the ball. That's the key. Look at Salvi saying, that's right. All right. I'm going to remember that. Now with 2 outs, Derek Lilliquist just came out and had a little visit with Waka. This is where you get him out of the game right here.
And Carlos Martinez, one of their other top talents, who is expected to be a starting pitcher, but right now in the bullpen. Both teams with the weary pens. They went 11 innings last night. They went 9, but a combination of a combined 15 runs scored in the Royals' 8-7 victory on Tuesday. Here is CAIN, 1 for 2.
It's just the 3rd time in Waka's career that he's had a 3-run inning.
How about that?
Pretty impressive.
He was the National League Championship Series most valuable player, not allowing a run in 13 2/3 innings and winning games 2 and 6.
How about making 4 runs?
CAIN didn't bite, and they're making the adjustments, Hud, because they were swinging at that breaking ball earlier in the game. Now they're taking it and putting themselves in better counts.
Going to have more success that way.
Gordon at second, Perez at first. Strike in there, 2-1. I think Lorenzo was thinking, if he throws me a fastball down the middle, I'm swinging, but didn't expect a curve on 2-0.
When it's up like that, though, those can be hit just as hard as a fastball can. It's all about the location. It doesn't have to necessarily be a certain pitch. That's what good hitters do. They zone him. Zone him out over the middle.
3-1.
He's telling himself there he charged too hard at that. I could tell with his body language. Just take a nice, easy, soft step. Lorenzo, the reason he's doing so well too is he's been more selective, but he's quieted his body language down. He's not as jittery up there. He's really focusing in. Quiet.
Hits that one sharply to the third baseman Carpenter, who touches third, but the Royals send 8 men to the plate. They score 3 runs to erase a St. Louis 2-run lead, and take a 3-2 edge on the Cardinals.
Clutch hits. That's how you get it done.
Of the 2014 draft, with the 28th pick, they end up taking Foster Griffin with the left-hander. I want to tell you about ticketsforless.com and encourage you to go to ticketsforless.com. Great seats at the K. If you have a corporate outing, guests coming to town, go to ticketsforless.com for all of the best Royals seats. 10 years locally owned. Ticketsforless.com. Check them out. Now on to that Royals pick as they select a left-hander out of high school. Foster Griffin is the pick that they just made from the First Academy in Orlando, Florida. And guys, listening to the broadcast and some of the experts on the draft, here's what they had to say about Foster. And he's the second pick. That 28th pick is because of the loss of Irvin Santana, compensation for that. And he is a 6'5" kid now, is what they were saying, at 210, 18 years old, committed to the University of Mississippi, 7-2, 1.55 ERA, 99 strikeouts in 58 innings. Also played a lot of outfield, but he is a projectable starter down the road, and they say good curveball, changeup, and slider. So he's got the off-speed pitches, and the fastball has really started to pick up as far as velocity within the last year.
How about that? They go with a college lefty with the 17th overall pick, Joel, and Brandon Finnegan, and then go with a high school lefty. We've got a lot of lefties in the organization up and down, but in Major League Baseball, everybody wants a talented southpaw.
Got that right. I'm happy to see it.
Well, here is Francisli Bueno. He's almost the complete opposite of Yordano Ventura. Ventura right-handed, Bueno left-handed. Bueno is a soft tosser. There's a ground ball struck to Escobar. Quick toss, and it gets Peter Borges, who is out for the first time. Francisli was gone because of arm problems and down in the minor leagues rehabbing. Back now in the big leagues, and he really pitched very well for Kansas City last year.
He's really impressed me with his poise. He's a guy who could really climb up in Ned's chart list here. He's a lefty that's got a fastball, a slider, a changeup, but he throws strikes and has a chance to elevate his position.
He was up each of the last 2 years, not much, Rex, but 25 games in the big leagues, a 2-1 record and a 1.05 ERA in 2012 and 2013 with the Royals.
What's wrong with that?
Fantastic
That's
numbers.
right. And that location right there is one of the reasons. He keeps the ball down, and he doesn't seem to rattle at all. You can tell he's got great body language, and he executes. But a game like this, it's big for him to perform.
He's always been able to throw strikes, and keeping it down is key, and he did that with Matt Carpenter to get the count his way 0-2. Bueno signed with the Braves as a non-drafted free agent when he defected from Cuba back in 2006. Signed by the Royals as a minor league free agent in 2011. And now Perez and Bueno are not on the same page, and they want to be able to talk this out. But the Royals really searching for help right now. We told you that Ned Yost would like to stay away from Crow and Herrera. They've just been overworked lately and need more rest.
If there's anybody out there that want to know what Carpenter's hitting against lefties, he's hitting .307 against lefties and .307 against righties. Can't get more consistent than that.
Breaking ball misses, the count 1-2.
Another thing about Salvador Perez, and you know, and he's extremely mature for major league standards for as young as he is. He moves like a cat back there with his big frame, but you notice he never tries to catch the ball. He just blocks it. He opens up his glove and he just keeps it in front there. That's really smart. You see Yadi, a 10-year veteran, do the same thing.
Bueno has gone from 0-2 to Carpenter to 3-2.
And you know, even though there's no runners on, Salvi still practices his craft. Tremendous hands.
Gonna have to take your chances with the very hot Carpenter. And he hits it to the right side. Took a chance. Hosmer has it, and 2 out. Let's take a look at our AT&T fan photo of the night. It comes from Danny.
Yeah.
All of his Royal buddies.
It's Zuba time. Thank you for your photo and your support.
So Bueno doing a good job after spending 50 games on the shelf with a contusion and sprain of the left little finger. And Rex, he did that, as we see Daniel Descalso bat for the first time, fielding a ball where you said don't go for plays like that, and Francisli went for a baseball when it was struck back at him and missed a lot of time in the big leagues.
Yeah, one little bruise. He'll take that one, thank you. Descalso saying, really? Come on, that's outside. No, it's not.
And then he drops down sidearm and gets him with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. 3 up, 3 down. Bueno.
Woo, that's what they're talking about. Believe it.
As promised earlier, it's Miller time, and that 6th inning deserved a Miller light.
Oh, it was a special thing. Those doubles are playing. AOKI. Okie dokie, that worked. Nice, he traded places with him. That's right, got some confidence going. Haas said, you know, I can chip one in, and Salvi to the rescue. Been struggling a little bit with his bat. Found a hole, bringing Hosmer home. 3-2, and Ventura is in line for his first victory here at the K, if the bullpen can hold the fort.
Our Academy Sports and Outdoors comparison of Waka and Ventura, both pitchers now gone. Waka, another a quality start. Ventura the same. He gave up 2 runs in 6 innings after missing 1 start because of discomfort in his right elbow. But Ventura, actually, his command got better as the game progressed, and all of a sudden Waka started making some mistakes up in the strike zone in the 5th and 6th. The new pitcher is Carlos Martinez, very talented right-hander from the Dominican Republic, signed in 2010. He had relieved only 1 game in his pro career since signing for $1.5 million bonus in 2010, but the Cardinals did not hesitate to use him in that role during the pennant race and postseason. Shot foul by Moose, 2-1.
Good sign. 99-mile-an-hour ball. Moose yanked him foul. Love to see that. Moose seems like he's struggled against guys that threw mid-90s. There's some 99 that he said, get out of my kitchen. You're not getting in there. And this kid has a golden arm. No wonder they gave him the cake. He's worth it. Heavy sink, too. He's got a little sink when that ball stays down. Curveball and a changeup are his specialty. But you throw that hard, that's the one you challenge hitters on. Good walk. After Moose hit the ball hard, his first 2 times up, takes the walk.
That's been the problem for Carlos. Making the move from starting to the bullpen has not been easy. A 4.7 ERA, and that is his 13th walk in not yet 31 innings. Now, the Royals, Escobar was able to reach on the double to lead off the 6th inning, and that started all the trouble for Michael Wacha. A win tonight would give Kansas City a 3-1 series victory, the first against St. Louis since 2010. Escobar tries to bunt his way on, but foul.
I was just going to say, not a good pitcher to bunt on. The way Escobar's swinging that bat, that hard fastball, you can't get that down, especially when it's right there belt high. Your chances of squaring that thing up are a lot easier swinging than bunt.
Would you hit and run?
Absolutely, I would here. Now, it's a possibility, certainly, but Escobar's been swinging a hot bat. Let him swing it.
They want to get the bunt down, and it's a dandy. He tags Escobar and then throws to first base. They get him because the home plate umpire Dale Scott immediately ruled that he did not get the tag, so he had to make the throw, and Esky gets the sacrifice down.
Well, he got him out twice there. Now this takes extreme skill. I just got through talking about how hard that is, and he got a pitch that was down. That's the key. He could handle it, and he placed it in a perfect spot to move Moose up into scoring position. Escobar with a little courtesy slide.
Dale Scott right on that. The home plate umpire immediately ruled that he did not tag him, so Martinez flipped to first, recorded the out. So Moose at second. Aoki had a big double in the 6th. Escobar doubled in the 6th. Aoki then doubled him home. Infante with a ground out moved Aoki to third, and Hosmer singled in Aoki with the tying run. 2 batters later, Perez knocked one up the middle to give KC their current 3-2 lead. Will that drop in right center? TAVERAS dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did, and they're going to double up Mike Moustakas. Ned Yost waiting. He's walking out very slowly, but he wants to make sure that Wakamatsu takes a look, because Rex, you cannot challenge a pop-up in the infield, but you can in the outfield.
Made a great catch if it holds.
Top of the 8th as Panera takes us around the league, and the Yankees. Masahiro Tanaka pitched today, which means the Royals won't see him. That's good news. Toronto all over Detroit, who has lost 13 of 17. Verlander's ERA rising. Miami 11-6, and Milwaukee winning in that one. Our Mazda Game Break takes us to Detroit, and amazing to see Verlander struggle. His ERA now at 4.19. He gives up 5 earned runs in 7 innings to the Blue Jays, and you saw it there, guys. In his last 5 starts, an ERA of 6.75. This is a Tigers team that is really struggling right now.
Joel, it's a totally different makeup of a team. They got a new manager out there. You know, they got up to a really hot start, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And they're figuring out that there's a few weaknesses on their team, and they went on a nice run, and I knew that wouldn't last long because baseball, it finds you out. But they're finding out that they don't have a polished closer. I mean, he's polished, but he's a veteran closer in Nathan, so he hasn't been able to get the job done.
And the Tigers have lost 9 of their last 13.
And if you don't have
5 in a row.
Yeah, if you don't have starting pitching, and that's what's been folding for them lately, you're in trouble.
Well, one thing the Royals have had are guys who are in the 8th and 9th inning roles, and Wade Davis has been sensational. He gets Matt Holliday on a long fly ball to center field, as we're seeing a defensive change with Dyson in center and CAIN in right. And here's that great catch by TAVERAS that resulted in an inning-ending double play.
And Moose, he needed to wait a couple of clicks longer and see, then make sure that he made that catch.
Davis, meantime, pitching in his 3rd game in this St. Louis series, and he throws a strike to Alan Craig, who is 1 for 3, a single to right field his first time up. Wade's numbers are absolutely fantastic. One of the best 8th inning guys in the major leagues. Craig skies it in the air, and CAIN will be tested in right at the foul line. Lorenzo without number 2. Davis with a 5-1 record, a 1.37 ERA, and 44 strikeouts in only 26 1/3 innings. Tuesday's outing was Wade's 22nd in a row with at least 1 strikeout. His next strikeout will be the 500th of his career. Molina singled his last time up, but thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double by, you guessed it, Alex Gordon. Molina with a 1-1 count. Royals won on Monday 6-0. Danny Duffy was the star. They won 8-7 in St. Louis, rallying from 4 runs down. Lost last night in 11. And then Davis blows a 97-mile-an-hour fastball by Molina for the advantage. That's a hard cut fastball at 91. Wow.
Better believe it. And hitters, when it's up a little bit higher, you can't touch that. It's too much velocity with a late little cut to it. It's got an overhand curve he uses too.
Line to center field, and Dyson with a diving catch. Wade says thank you very much. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals in the 8th. Royals head to the bottom of the 8th, leading by 1.
Oh, that was timely. Go ahead, Wade Davis.
First round picks are currently on the Royals 25-man roster. The answer was 6, and 38% of you got it right. Guthrie, Butler, Gordon, Moustakas, Hosmer, and Aaron Crow. And the Royals had 2 picks in the first round today. They selected Brandon Finnegan in the first round out of TCU, and Rexy had good numbers. 5'11", 185, 8-3, 207 ERA, a 2013 member of the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team. And he had 5 starts this season where he pitched 7 innings or more without allowing a run.
Don't let the size fool you. That pick out of college, if he goes on and has some success this summer, don't be surprised if you don't see him up here later in the season.
Well, he leads college baseball with 12 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Don't be surprised.
You never know, but the Royals really loaded with pitching, and their Class A Wilmington team has some very talented pitchers. Sean Manaea is there. Miguel Almonte there. Jonathan Zedzik is dealing there. And Hunter Dozier has been their top offensive player. He's their third baseman. He's been hitting .444 the last couple of weeks. That ball struck sharply to the second baseman, and Descalso will throw out Infante. So 2 lefties taken in the first round by the Royals. The 17th overall pick we just talked about, Brandon Finnegan, and if you've just joined us, they also had the 28th selection, which was the Atlanta Braves. When they signed Irvin Santana, the Royals got their first round pick, and it was Foster Griffin they took, an 18-year-old high school senior out of the First Academy in Orlando, who had accepted a scholarship to Mississippi, but now will be talking with the Royals.
Love to see Hosmer catch one of those fastballs out front.
And Carlos, as you said, has a good one in the upper 90s in a power curve.
Ooh, man, but if Hos can get a hold of one.
He hits it sharply, but Descalso right there. 2 out.
Descalso. He's the kind of player that every manager wants to have on their team. He's a guy that grinds. He's a tough player. He plays anywhere in that infield. Third base, a shortstop. You can bring him in double switches. Gives you some good at-bats. He's a nice player.
And Billy Butler has given his team some good at-bats in tonight's game. Grounded out sharply to the second baseman in the second, doubled all the way to the wall in the fifth, and lined out to deep center field his last time up. That's when the Royals scored 3 runs off Michael Wacha, and he did not come out for the 7th.
You see those fans behind the screen flinch when that foul ball went there. That man sitting there with his wife, he's saying, you know what? Oh man, that came on me. That's right, sir. That ball thrown at 100 miles an hour, it picks up speed lots of times when a hitter just foul ticks it.
And then he dropped in that breaking ball at 86, and they're still talking about that. Thank goodness for the screen. And then Billy chases one away from him and just barely is able to touch it with the end of his bat, staying alive as Martinez going back to that curve.
That hurt Yadi's hand. See how he asked Dale Scott for a ball?
Slicing away from TAVERAS, but he'll get there. And the Royals go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll see Greg Holland when we come back as he goes for yet another save for KC.
It's hammer time.
In the game, tied for the American League lead with 16 in 17 attempts. He went right through the St. Louis Cardinals last night in the 10th inning to give the Royals an opportunity. They would lose in 11th, but this is the rare time this year, Rex, where he's gone back to back to back games.
Well, you know what? It's a not easy job for sure, especially facing the Redbirds here to try to close out 3 out of 4 in this 4-game series. However, what separates Holland from the rest of the closers in baseball really are his 3 pitches. Most closers have just 2. He's got 3 he can rely on, and he has confidence in those secondary pitches, that slider and split finger. However, his mound presence, his focus is extreme.
He had the fastball working for him last night at 97 miles an hour, struck out Molina and Peralta with it. He will face TAVERAS first, then Peralta, then Jay. Ball 1. Taveras, their top prospect, they called up last Saturday, hit a home run in his second at bat. One ball, one strike. Greg Early trying to command his fastball. Has had one at 94, one at 96.
Most likely was a split finger there. Whenever it moves a little bit away from the lefty and into the righty, that's how you can tell. His slider more breaks straight down and a little bit in to a lefty. Staying on that corner.
He has fallen behind the rookie. 3 balls and 1 strike. Takes a rip up the middle. Infante backhands. Got him! What a play! Matheny will argue.
Well, Matheny's going to argue this one, but he has no challenge. Well, we might see a little more animation out of the Cardinal skipper.
A huge play keeping St. Louis's leadoff man off the bases in Infante with an absolute gem. The umpires say they want to take a look at it.
So Matheny won the argument as far as that goes. He says, look, I know I'm out of challenges, but we know that you have one. It's a crew chief challenge.
He does look safe.
Ooh. Fans just saw the replay on the board, and those are the Cardinal fans that you hear yelling, because it looks like he beat it.
The Cardinals had a challenge at second base when Alex Gordon threw out YADIER MOLINA. That took 3 minutes and 30 seconds and favored the Royals.
But a great play by Infante, not giving up. Didn't take that extra step to get anything on the throw. He relied on his quick hands and release point. That'll stir the crowd.
Well, their job to get it right, and he is safe, and the Cardinals have one on with nobody out in the 9th inning. Well, Holland had to stand around for a while. The umpires did get it right. And Randall Grichuk will run for Oscar Taveras. I'm not sure why, because Taveras showed good speed getting down that line.
Not Grichuk speed.
The batter will be Johnny Peralta.
Someone wants to concentrate on just keeping the ball down.
Low ball 1. Johnny 3 for 9 against Greg in his career, also 3 strikeouts. Peralta, the most home runs he's hit against any team. Minnesota, he's hit 19. Second most, the Royals, 15. Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll be surprised if Grichuk takes a chance to steal a base here. Peralta's got some pop. Jay on deck. I want to hope that they could get him into scoring position somehow without taking a chance with Salvi's arm.
Greg gets ahead with the off-speed pitch. It's a 1-2 count. He has struck out 34 this year in 22 2/3 innings. And Salvi works around, throws to second, but taking off and make it to second base safely is Grichuk.
It's a great read. Wasn't going on the pitch. Salvi had a hard time getting around Peralta. Nice job of keeping him in front, but it went under Peralta's legs, and the batter has every right to that batter's box. He doesn't have to move. So he became an obstacle. So there's one out, and in the sense got him over.
So the batter is John Jay after Peralta strikes out. Jay on just about every single pitch that Ventura threw as he went 2 for 3. Strike one. Jay lined a single to right field and scored on Borges's triple in the second. Lined a single to center field in the fourth and scored on Carpenter's single. Takes a rip here and is down in the count 0-2.
Salvador Perez. You can throw anything but the kitchen sink at him and he'll block it. Very trustworthy.
Jay has struck out 25 times this year. The Royals appeal, but the third base umpire said that Jay did not go.
That split finger is a strikeout pitch of his, and he can throw it without any conviction at all because of that man, Salvador Perez. He has the knack to turn that ball into a marshmallow at that type of velocity. Soft hands.
Grichuk representing the tying run at second base. He struck him out.
See how he just opens up his glove. Doesn't even try to catch that ball. Now, granted, it's an excellent strikeout pitch by Holland, but Salvador Perez is keeping Grichuk at second because of the ability to block that ball.
Now Peter Borges, who has had several key at-bats in this series. A home run off of Shields, a triple off Ventura tonight. First pitch outside, ball one. We saw what he can do with an elevated power fastball. Great crowd on hand at the K. In there, 1 ball, 1 strike. Greg closed out Tuesday's 8-7 win at Busch Stadium. Working through the middle of the order. Now the bottom of the order. Strike 2. I don't think there's a hitter in the game that can hit that last pitch. Another great job by Salvador Perez, who has blocked 4 in the dirt thrown by Greg Holland in this 9th inning.
Any young catchers out there watching this? That is a catching clinic given by the youngest and the best in the American League.
The Royals win the I-70 series. 3 victories to 1 over St. Louis.
8-game losing streak against the Redbirds here is over.
It's the first win versus the Cardinals at home since May 20th, 2011, and it was a thriller, Hud. Down by 2 runs against a premier pitcher, Michael Wacha. The guys did not quit.
Oh, man, this is boding well for the confidence of those batters. Casey put that W up. That's 3 out of 4 from the Redbirds. And a beautiful display of timely hitting. And let's not forget Ventura coming off of a start where he missed. He did a great job. He held him in there, kept his team in the game. And Francisco Bueno bridged the gap from Ventura to the back end of the pin to win.
Greg Holland, magnificent.